Hey everybody, I hope this video finds you well. My name is Stuart Tan and I've been a speaker for the last 29 years, speaking to well over 500,000 people around the world. I help people to upgrade their mindsets in various aspects of their life so that they can improve the way they perceive life. That way, quality of life goes up, quality of business, relationships, communication in the family also goes up, and that's how I help people to elevate to a higher level of thinking. Now, today's going to be strange because I'm also going to start out with the feeling that I'm actually really sick right now. I don't feel well. I had a very bad night's rest and I'm just going to put it out there. I don't feel well. I was kind of like feeling like throwing up earlier on. And I want to tell you how I typically would get out of that state, because there are a lot of people who struggle and they just succumb to the physiology. To me, this morning was very important because I needed to get this video out. I know I was down in the dumps and it wasn't really helpful for me. So there are a few things that I do in terms of my mindset that I hope that will help you. And in sharing with you how I do this, you can potentially see how I am doing it and getting myself out of a funk. I'm not feeling too well because of a variety of things. I suspect that I've been not sleeping enough, and having really bad sleep does affect my day. Not having the right kind of food and ingesting the wrong kinds of substances actually also affects my body. And I'm not too pleased with that. And I know on hindsight I shouldn't have done that, but I suppose it's necessary for me to learn a tough lesson and move forward in spite of it. So how do I set my mind in spite of a really terrible day and feeling like, I should cancel all my appointments and so on? Well, first and foremost, I don't believe that I ought to cancel my appointments. I do believe that I need to move forward. I know I've been under quite a fair bit of stress recently, and I just need to learn how to balance it out. So how do I set my mind? There are three ways by which I do this. The first one is to sit down, acknowledge, and meditate. So this morning I did a 10-minute meditation, and it helped me to settle down and get to a level where I was at least at baseline. That's one of the reasons why I can even turn on the video right now and run this recording in the first place. The second thing that I do is I search the internet for motivational quotes. I found quite a few good ones. One of them by Maxwell, who says that successful and unsuccessful people do not vary greatly in their abilities. They vary in their desire to achieve their potential. So this is a very powerful quote because I know that I've got a lot of potential inside of me, and this potential is untapped. So today, no matter how sick I feel, I'm gonna continue to go grind it because I know that there's far more healing capacity inside of me than there is sick capacity. Now, I know motivational quotes may not work for you. I saw one over here, which I'll quote for you. It's probably gonna be useful, but at the point of time I read it, I just felt like it was not very helpful for me. And it came from the great Napoleon Hill. You are a master of your destiny. You can influence, direct, and control your own environment. You can make your life what you want it to be. Now, honestly, when I read that, I couldn't resonate with it at all. And that's the problem with mind setting utilizing motivational quotes. Some are misses, some are hits, and you need to curate a few of them because one day I might take a look at Napoleon Hill's quote and feel really motivated by it, and John Maxwell's quote may fall flat for me. So that's one of the reasons why, as I'm going through this, I'm seeing how my perspective is shifting. My mind setting involves a whole range of other role models that enable me to see from different perspectives. And I try to stack these so that it enables me to have a bunch of role model voices inside my head. Rohn, for example, said this: "Success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person you become." And all of a sudden, this has so much impact for me right now because I need to shift into a person that I need to become in order to deal with the challenges of not feeling well and also being able to handle other things for the rest of the day in spite of this physical incapacity. Another one comes from Barack Obama. "Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek." And again, this kind of amplifies what it is that I need to focus on. So now that I've got this internal set of mental models and role models inside my head, I can now plan and decide the person I want to be. In fact, what I'm reading actually helps me to trigger certain techniques that I use in neuro-linguistic programming. For example, I take a look at the calendar and I notice that I've got like 8 calls today. So instead of going like, oh, I'm gonna cancel them, it's gonna be dreary, which is gonna feed off and continue to spiral my negative energy, right? So instead of doing that, I'm gonna go, what will I choose to do in order to keep these appointments? It's a tough thing to do, but I've always been a proponent by saying that the circumstances don't really matter. It is the decisions that I make that matter. So yeah, I might be feeling a little bit nauseous right now, but what about if I shifted myself and asked myself, who do I need to be in order to shift my physiology into such boundless amounts of health that nobody can tell the difference, right? So I decide to think about the version of myself that is healthy, that is able to overcome these difficulties, smile a little bit more, change my posture, breathe differently in order for me to, in a sense, fake it until I make it. But therein lies another trick. I need to be able to have the right kind of self-talk in order for my mind setting to be complete. So it does become a very interesting set of mechanisms. First, sit down, meditate, get yourself grounded. Secondly, go through motivational models, especially when you look at those motivational quotes and those role models actually speak well to you and resonate with you. Then the next thing will be to mentally go through an imagine process of creating the version of you or your identity for the day that is likely to help you to succeed. After all, if I'm going to meet so many people, wouldn't it be ironic that actually they could have been giving me business, but every time I go through this, it becomes a chore, it becomes really problematic. And at the end of the day, when they take a look at me and go like, oh, this guy's a coach, this guy's supposed to be a motivational master, doesn't really feel like it, I don't think I'm going to give him any business. And all of a sudden, the tables get turned against me, isn't it? So I need to step into the version of me that is the most empowered, the most motivated, the most directed, and really mentally imagine myself stepping into that new skin, that new energy, so that I'll be able to do this video, so that I'll be able to reach out to more people, so that I can demonstrate that no matter how much a struggle there is, I'm still gonna have to be there, rain or shine, nausea or not. And of course, yeah, I'm not gonna just brush it off. I'm gonna find out what the heck happened. Maybe it's like a stomach flu or something like that. But hey, the more I think about it, the more that feeling of nausea amplifies. The less I think about it, the more I focus on the good that I'm gonna go through today. I'm probably gonna feel not so great, but at the same time, I'm also going to accomplish better outcomes. After all, you can give people all the money in the world, all the resources in the world. The person with the wrong kind of mindset will never be able to exploit those resources powerfully. So I encourage you, if you encounter difficulties, moments where you're sprawling, moments where you just can't pick yourself up, remember this. Set your mind. Meditate, get yourself down to a ground level of acceptance, go inside your head with your role models and their motivational quotes that resonate with you, then ask yourself, who do you want to be? What kind of mental state will you need to be at your best? Step into that mental experience, embrace that version of you that's going to be the best for the day, and then go out and conquer the world. I hope this has been useful. I know it has been useful for me because just speaking about this is already helping me to shift my physical state so that I'll be able to accomplish more. Remember, suffering is just the circumstance. You can utilize your mindset in order to overcome that by elevating yourself beyond that suffering through the way you think. And then, this is where you can now take actions for abundance. If you found this useful, please click on the like button so that the YouTube algorithm can catch this and distribute it to people who might actually be suffering right now and actually need this message and this method. If you have anybody whom you know who might benefit from this, please share this video on your social media pages, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video.